Well, hi again everybody, Jake back here with you. Just thought I'd go through and do another little tutorial with you. Since the last one, I started laying down the lines for the candy cane stripe, and I thought I'd take you through that a little bit, walk you through and how I do that. We'll go through and do the colors. You know, like I said, I've already done this end, you know, the top and bottom of this on the last video. Since I did that, I kind of decided to go ahead and show you a little bit about how the candy cane stripe goes. Now, if you remember, this isn't masking from Orbital Dry Dock or any of the other masking companies. This is just random lines. And let me tighten up in here on the shot for you. And let me move the camera to where you can see it a little bit better. There we go. So let me readjust one more thing here. That way we make sure we're in good shot here. Alright, so you know, like I said, this is not a paint mask. Well, it's masking, but it's not a set that comes in like Orbital Dry Dock or Aztec Dummy or anything else like that. This is just straight random random lines. And again, I used this this piece, and this is the you know, like I said before, this is a sheet that comes. These lines come from Cameron's Decals and such. My buddy Cameron Lewis, and he has various patterns of different size maskings, all the way down to very small pinstripe, all the way up to very thick lines. And for the 537 scale, this particular one here in the center cluster is perfect for the candy cane stripe. Now, like if you're doing for the 1000 scale, this cluster here, you're not going to be able to see it, but if you order these from Cameron, these will work just fine. This cluster here will just work just fine for the 1000 scale, and it has different various patterns, but this is the scale. This is the size right here that works the best for the 537 scale. So now what I've already done is I've already sprayed my blue on here, and just going through and just going, picking off little, random areas here to kind of get that candy cane. And we're going to go back through. If you notice, there's lines. Well, there's spaces in between the masking. Well, what I'm going to do is go back through at the end and spray gold. I'll put all the pieces back on, and then I'll go back through with a heavy coat and spray the gold back down in there, and have that gold mortar pattern look that we have. So because Orbital Dry Docks comes with the pieces that go inside, in between in between each line, in between each set here. But this one, we're just doing it from pieces, and and it'll work fine. As you can see, it turned out just fine. So alright, so I've got my airbrush cleaned out. I'm going to go ahead and put my pieces back on, and we're going to go ahead and do our green and go from there. So we're going to go ahead and put these back on. Like I said, I'm not going to do this for all of it, just kind of doing showing through on certain areas of the ship that'll be easy to do. Basically the same pattern you can repeat for the 350 refit with bigger pieces if for some reason or another the masking messes up. Your paint masking set that you order, whether it be from Orbital Dry Dock, or if it comes from Mask Design or Aztec Dummy, any of those. This is just a good little way that I found out to do this, and found out it works really well. Sorry for the noise in here again, guys. It's kind of toasty outside, and the heat index for the day today is supposed to be, this is Thursday, and the heat index for the day is supposed to be like 110, so I gotta have my heater on, my air conditioner on in here again, guys. And the camera, for some reason or another, likes to really pick up pick up the air conditioner. Alright, so now we're going to go back through and pick off our greens. So we're just going to kind of do random, make sure you're in shot there. And some of you may like to just do one little, one little brick at a time. I like going through and peeling a bunch of them off. Just kind of depends. It gets the area done faster, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Don't take my word for it. That's just how I like to do things. Now I do know with the orbital dry dock, the paint masking, each time you do a color, it gets, the masking gets a little each time you peel it off and put it back on, the masking gets a little less tacky each time you do it. So remember that, guys. And like I said in the last video, just make sure that each time that you, especially if you're using orbital dry docks masking set, just make sure that you are turn your airbrush down, pressure down just a little bit each time. Simply for the fact that you can cause the masking to come off, cause it to blow off, and you don't want that. So let's get one up high over here. Sometimes these masking has got a good stick to it, but they're really good pieces. I don't have to worry about them coming off each time I do a color. I'll do one down low over here. And let's see, we'll do one in the middle. No, we'll do one down low again. And like I said before, guys, and any of us pro modelers out there, there's no real correct way to do this. There's always been different suggestions on how to do this kind of stuff, and so there's never been a right and wrong way to do this kind of stuff, simply for the fact that everybody makes it their own. And so now we're going to go through and put 2 dots, like I said in the last one, for each time you do a color you add another dot. So this is going to be our green. Let me shake this up real quick. Do a test shot. Alright, so let's do our green. And Boyd Crompton and everybody else, especially everybody that does this, Boyd made a good point if you don't know if you're getting a good amount of paint, or if you're getting a good coverage on your model, check your masking. Your masking tape will show up to make the paint will show up on your masking to do, that way you're getting a good amount. So we're going to do this with our dryer real quick. All right, so I'm going to go off camera now and get the greens put back on, get set up for our gold. and we'll come right back, guys, so stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. Now we have our gold pieces off. I got the 3 dots on them, and got our gold loaded up in our brush, so we're getting ready to spray this. So here we go, do a test shot. Alright, so here we go. And remember guys, keep your airbrushes back a couple of inches. That way you don't you know, overspray it. And I see one that I probably would need to, yeah, let me go ahead and get this one right here. Just happened to catch my eye on it, guys. Alright, well there's that. Let me put my 3 dots on here. And let me just do a quick dry on this. Yeah, it's looking real good. Alright guys, well, let me put this, let's go this back on, then we'll get set up for red. And sometimes putting these maskings back on can be a little bit tricky. But we'll get it. Remember, the trick on these guys is when you set them down on here, don't put them down hard at first. Just kind of tap it until you get it ready. Till you get it ready to you know, push down all the way. Then you can go back through and set it all the way hard. Now, I won't be going through on another video and doing the other side because it's pretty much self-explanatory, you know, pretty much the same thing, so I don't want to bore you with that. So, alright, so let's get our last color pulled off, which will be our red. We'll get the red masking pulled off, and then we'll get, let me get my, I'll go off camera, get my airbrush cleaned up, and spray our red when we come back. Sometimes these little buggers don't want to come off real easy. Oh, I thought that one was a big one. So we're going to make it that. Sometimes you have to improvise, guys. Put this one back on. There's going to be one that I'm going to have to go back through and fix, so I'll do that off camera. Alright, so there's our final color, and we're going to do the 4 dots. For that one. So, alright guys, well, let me get my airbrush cleaned up, and we'll come back and do the red. So, be right back, guys. Okay guys, now I have all my red off. There was one more that I missed right here. So we got that taken off, so we'll got our red loaded up in our gun, and we'll spray that and dry it, put our masking back on. I'm going to go off camera while that's drying, and go off camera, get my airbrush cleaned out, and fix that one spot that I saw of the blue. There's actually 2 spots, and we'll come back and do the candy cane, do the mortar. So we have our red spray, red loaded up in our brush. So we'll do a test shot. So here we go. All right. Like I said the other day, I'll give this a quick dry. I said the other day when we did this section over here, the red doesn't show up very well, so you have to kind of give it 2 coats. We'll give this a quick dry, and we'll spray our second coat. And the way you can tell, I know this sounds kind of funny, but with this iridescent paint, the way you can tell that you're getting a good amount of paint on there, if you're red, if you are getting red on there, your area will turn green. These iridescent paints are kind of funny that way. They change color on you while you're, while you're looking. That's the point of it. It changes color. The gold will turn blue. The blue, I believe, let's see here. The blue will turn gold. The gold will turn gray. The green will turn red, and the red will turn green. So that's just kind of the way it goes there. So, all right, we're gonna dry this out. I'm gonna let this dry for a few minutes, clean up my airbrush, and come back, and we'll start spraying on our pinstripe here. So we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. Now we have all of our colors sprayed on. I went back through off camera and sprayed the colors, fix those 2 colors which were blue. So now we have all of our colors done. Now we can go back through with our gold and spray our candy cane, our mortar area in between the deals. So we have our guns, airbrush loaded up. We'll give it a little test shot. So here we go. Make sure we give this a good heavy coat. All right, get a little bit back here. Okay, so that's it. So we'll give this a little bit of a heat dry. And we'll go through and start peeling off our masks. We don't need that no more, so we can just go through here and, like I said before, guys, just make sure that when you pick these masks off, the paint is still pretty wet, so you can scratch the paint on it. So be mindful of that, guys. see one that I'm gonna have to go back through and fix real quick. It's a little bitty tiny one right here that I didn't see. But we'll make that a long one and spray gold while I still have a little bit in my airbrush. Sometimes with this paint, it gets onto the masking and you can't get it off. So right there, and what I'm going to do is take a little. Sometimes if this happens, guys, you just take a little bit of tape. You can take this painter's tape and put it down on your shirt, or do something, you know, where it's tacky on there. You know, it loses a lot of its tack, and just kind of cover it up like that. Cover up the area real quick, and then just take it back. And I've got just a little bit left in there to. There we go. Give that a quick dry. All right, there she is. So now we can just carefully peel this stuff off, guys. Don't sit there and rip it off. So we'll go through now and peel off all of our masks and show you the end results. Like I said, I'm not going to do too much more on this, guys, because it's kind of redundant. I don't want to bore you too much with all this. Almost there, guys. Like I said, this is a very tedious process, so just take your time, go slow, do a little, and if you have to walk away for a little bit, don't get if you start getting frustrated, just walk away a little bit, guys. Don't get frustrated with it and get off, completely go away from the project. Just take your time, go on to something else, and come back and start fresh, and sometimes that helps. I know I've had to do it. I'm sure every one of the modelers out there that do this know exactly what I'm talking about. You get frustrated and things just don't go right, and then you have to, then you start getting frustrated and you lose interest in it, and then that's it. You don't want to do it no more. So just remember, guys, just take your time, go slow. Masking there to peel off. Some of these were a little long, so I cut them down. Alright, guys, let me get like I said yesterday, get a piece of paper towel, or the other day when I uploaded the video, the last video, and just go through and just slowly, lightly rub it to get off all the powder residue and maybe any of the sticky left from the masking, and go from there. So there we have it, guys. I don't know if you can see it very well. Let me see if I can't get a good shot of the colors. Let me tighten up a little bit. But there you can see the real pretty, everything's coming through, guys. It looks really well. May not show up very well on camera, guys, but in person it looks really, really good. So that's how you do the candy cane stripe on the back side. And you know, the same process goes for the refit. You know, you can do the same process for the refit, you know, the 350 scale. So now what I'm going to do a little bit later is, after I let this cure a little bit so I don't get you know, get my tape on there and accidentally peel anything off, I'll go back through, and I've got to put a couple of stripes right through here to close in the gap, and then we can start doing the bottom side and go from there, guys. So that's it for this video, guys. We'll come back in a couple of days with another update on this. I should be pretty much through with the nacelles by then, and I can start on the, you know, we'll be starting on the roll bar, and then hopefully by next week the project will be completely through, guys. So that's it for this episode, guys. Take care, and we'll see you again out there. I have a client coming in, a couple of client builds coming in. We're going to be doing a video series on the TOS build, another TOS build soon. So that'll be our next video project after we get this one and my client's Kestra build done with. So after those are done, we'll be starting that video build series on the 350 TOS, just kind of like the one I did last year. And but we're going to be using different lighting kit. This will be the round 2 polar lights kit. We're going to be ordering a couple of different boards for that, and different motors, because those are you know, a little loud, but we'll walk you through all that. So that's it for now, guys. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of the week, and happy modeling, everybody.